Welcome back, aviators, to Aviation Gab. I'm Jason, and as always, I'm joined by the fantastic.
Jessica, so good to be back, Jason. And boy, do we have some big news to dive into today. I mean, we're talking about a major airline headquarters relocating. It's a huge shift.
Absolutely, Jessica. It's quite the headline. So let's just get right into it, shall we? PSA Airlines, a subsidiary of American Airlines, is officially moving its corporate headquarters.
Yes, and this isn't just a small move, they're packing up from Dayton, Ohio, and heading south all the way to Charlotte, North Carolina, which honestly isn't totally surprising, but still a big deal.
No, not at all surprising given, Americans' hub there. But yeah, it's a significant shift. And we're talking about a brand new HQ, too. It's not like they're just, renting a small office space somewhere.
Right, exactly. The new headquarters, if I'm not mistaken, is set to open in January 2026. So it's not happening tomorrow, but it's not that far off either. And they've even got the address 2709 Water Ridge Parkway.
That's right, 2709 Water Ridge Parkway. And they're planning for quite a sizable team there, aren't they? I mean, they're looking to host around 400 staff at this new location. That's a lot of people, relocating or new hires. It's a big operation.
Yeah, that's a pretty substantial workforce to move, or like you said, to staff up from scratch in a new city. It just really underscores, I think, the scale of this relocation. It's not just a department, it's their entire corporate HQ.
Speaking of staffing and the sheer scale, that brings us naturally to the big question. What about the employees? I mean, relocating an entire corporate HQ, that's a huge impact on people's lives.
Oh, absolutely, Jason. That's probably the most critical part of any big move like this, right? And from what we understand, around 350 corporate staff members currently in Dayton have actually been offered relocation to Charlotte. So it's not like they're just, getting rid of everyone.
Right, they're giving them the option, but that's still a big decision for 350 individuals and their families. I mean, uprooting your life, moving to a new city, there's a lot to consider there.
Yeah, for sure. And they've actually put a deadline on that decision, which, makes sense. Employees have until April 2025 to decide if they're going to make that move with PSA. That's not a lot of time actually when you think about it.
It's not, especially with house hunting and everything else that comes with a move like that. And then the actual relocation itself, it's not all happening at once from what I understand.
No, it's a phased approach, which is smart. The relocation actually begins in the second half of 2025, and then it continues into 2026. So it's not a sudden, everyone pack your bags next week kind of thing, which is probably a relief for a lot of those folks.
That phased approach makes a lot of sense, especially considering the sheer logistics. But it begs the question, why Charlotte? I mean, why is Charlotte the chosen destination for PSA's HQ? There must be some really strong operational and strategic drivers behind this, right?
Oh, absolutely, Jason. It's not just, throwing a dart at a map. Charlotte is actually a super strategic location for PSA. I mean, for one, Charlotte operates over, get this, 180 daily PSA departures. That's a huge number.
Wow, so it's already like a major hub for their operations. It makes sense to be where the action is, so to speak.
Exactly. It's their busiest hub, for sure. And something else that's really key is that most of PSA's training facilities are actually already located in Charlotte. So it's not like they're building a whole new training infrastructure from scratch.
Ah, that's a huge efficiency gain right there. You've got your flight crews, your maintenance teams, probably already doing a lot of their training in Charlotte. So moving the HQ there just consolidates everything. That just makes so much sense.
It totally does. And it's not just PSA's direct operations either. PSA, as you know, supports American Eagle operations, and they do that out of a few key airports. Charlotte, obviously, but also Dallas-Fort Worth, Philadelphia, and Washington, D.C.'s Reagan National. And from those hubs, they're serving over like 100 destinations. So by moving the HQ to Charlotte, it's not just about PSA's immediate flights, but also about being closer to where a huge chunk of their broader network support is, especially for American Eagle. That sounds like a really smart play to, streamline everything.
Totally. It's about aligning with where their operations are densest and where they already have a significant footprint, not just for their own flights, but for their larger strategic partnerships too. It really just feels like a natural fit. Okay, so Charlotte is clearly the strategic move for all those reasons, but what about Dayton then? I mean, is this like a complete pullout from Dayton? Are they just, packing everything up and leaving? Or is there still a presence there at all?
Oh, that's a really good question, Jason. And no, it's definitely not a complete departure. Dayton is actually going to keep a pretty significant presence. Like, PSA is keeping its maintenance hangar there, which is huge, and also their crew base. So it's not a total abandonment, you know?
Oh, okay. That's actually really good to hear. So like the actual operational stuff, the planes getting worked on, the crew starting more shifts, that's still happening in Dayton. I guess that makes sense. You wouldn't just uproot everything.
Yeah, exactly. It's not, a full goodbye. And get this, they're actually going to have about 550 employees who will remain active in Dayton. So it's still a pretty substantial workforce there, just reconfigured, I guess, from the HQ perspective. The maintenance and the crew are definitely sticking around.
Wow, okay, so 550 employees staying in Dayton. That's a good number. But I mean, with an HQ moving, naturally you'd expect a lot of like new roles or new focus areas in Charlotte, right? What's the hiring outlook there? Are they like ramping up?
Oh, absolutely, Jason. They're not just moving people, they're definitely expanding their footprint in Charlotte. In fact, PSA is already actively posting jobs in Charlotte. So if you're looking, that's the place to look.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's not just a future thing. It's happening right now.
Yeah, exactly. And, they typically hire around 1,200 people per year anyway across all their operations. But with this HQ move, they're actually planning to increase hiring, specifically in Charlotte for 2025 and 2026.
Wow, so that's a significant boost on top of their already high volume. I mean, 1,200 people a year is already quite a lot, but to say they're going to increase it, that really speaks to the scale of this move, doesn't it? Like they're really building up that Charlotte base.
It totally does. They're really investing in that region. It's not just about relocating existing roles, but it's about growing the company there and centralizing a lot of their functions. So yeah, Charlotte is definitely going to see a lot of new aviation jobs coming their way.
Okay, so it sounds like a really significant investment in Charlotte, but what's the bigger picture here, the strategic significance of all this? Is it just about jobs or is there more to it for PSA and American Airlines?
Oh, absolutely. There's so much more. I mean, the biggest thing, honestly, Jason, is that this move really aligns PSA's headquarters with its busiest hub, which is, Charlotte. It makes sense.
Right, right. So it's about being where the action is, essentially.
Exactly. And not just that, it also centralizes their training. I mean, think about it. A lot of their training facilities are already like located in Charlotte. So bringing the HQ there, it just like consolidates everything, makes it more efficient.
That's a good point. So efficiency, centralization, is there also something about like American Airlines operations too? Because I know PSA is a subsidiary of American.
You hit the nail on the head. Yes. It actually enhances their integration with American Airlines operations, specifically at Charlotte Douglas International Airport. So, being right there, working hand in hand, it just streamlines so much.
Wow. So it's not just about PSA, getting its own ducks in a row. It's about making the whole American Airlines family more cohesive in that major hub. That makes a lot of sense. But just to like circle back really quickly, we talked about Dayton keeping some presence. Does that strategic significance somehow still include Dayton in a way, or is it all about Charlotte now?
Oh, no, that's a great question. And it's super important to remember Dayton will definitely still play a key support role. Even with the HQ moving, they're retaining a strong workforce there. So it's not like Dayton is being completely, phased out or anything like that. It's more of a strategic shift of the core HQ functions, but Dayton remains a vital part of their operation.
So it's like a dual hub strategy in a way, just with different focuses.
Yeah, you could definitely say that. One for the main corporate operations, the other for critical support like maintenance and crew base. It's a really smart move to optimize their whole network.
Wow. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today, Jess. I mean, from the big move itself to the employee impact, why Charlotte makes so much sense, and Dayton's continued role, plus all the hiring. Just to like
kind of tie a bow on it for our listeners, could we do a quick, at a glance recap of the key takeaways for this PSA Airlines HQ relocation?
Absolutely, Jason. It's been quite the discussion, hasn't it? So, really, the big picture is that PSA Airlines is moving its corporate HQ to Charlotte, North Carolina, specifically to 2709 Water Ridge Parkway.
Right, and that's set to open in, when was that again? January 2026, correct?
That's right, January 2026. And they're looking to host around 400 staff there. In terms of employees moving, we're talking about around 350 Dayton corporate staff who have been offered relocation, with that decision deadline coming up in April 2025.
Okay, so most of the new HQ staff will be from Dayton, but some new hires too. And Dayton's not losing everything, which is good.
No, not at all. Dayton's definitely keeping its maintenance hangar and crew base, retaining about 550 employees there, which is a pretty significant presence. And for Charlotte, the hiring outlook is actually quite strong. They're already posting jobs and planning to increase hiring, especially in 2025 and 2026, to staff up that new HQ.
And the overarching reason for all this, the rationale, it's all about aligning with Charlotte as their busiest hub and centralizing operations, right?
Exactly. Aligning HQ with their operations and training facilities in Charlotte, enhancing integration with American Airlines at the Charlotte Douglas International Airport, and really just optimizing their entire network. So, yeah, massive strategic move.
Wow. So, I mean, what a comprehensive overview, Jessica. That really helps put all the pieces together for this big move.
It really does, Jason. It's quite a lot to unpack, but I think we've covered it pretty thoroughly for our listeners today.
Absolutely. And that wraps up our discussion on the PSA Airlines HQ relocation. We hope you found this deep dive insightful.
Indeed. Thank you all so much for tuning into Aviation Gab. We really appreciate you spending your time with us.
This has been Aviation Gab. We'll catch you next time.